Hi familia, Brianna here. Wild Woman Rhapsody number 100 and something. I'm not going to keep track of the numbers anymore. I'll see who wants to come on and have a little chat about what's happening in our nation's capital right now, because it seems to be that some people are scaling the motherfucking walls and going directly into the Congress room. Have you guys been watching the news? Are you on Twitter at all? It's fascinating. So I first just want to say a prayer for what's going on, because I pray that this pulls back the curtain of bullshit that has been the US government for quite some time. I'm going to say for at least 100 years. Definitely post World War II, the United States has been steeped in deep corporate bullshit. So does it have something to do with Trump? Sure. Does it have something to do with racism? Absolutely. But is this something that is a long time coming? Yes, 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 yes. This is the fall of the Roman Empire. I'm really hoping that our credit cards don't seduce us again. I'm really hoping that we start to get our troops out of the Middle East. I'm really hoping that the United States stops being the #1 importer of sex slavery. I'm really hoping that the United States and all of her citizens stop being the ones who are using their credit and using our money to fund what's happening in the Middle East, which is basically we are illegally extracting the oil from the Middle East. And all of this is a fucking distraction from the pedophilic rings and from the extraction of natural resources in the Middle East. That's basically what's going down. So right now we have a number of different organizations and non-organizations that have stormed the nation's capital. And let's just be really clear that if their skin were any other color, P.S. I'm super itchy because I got back from Costa Rica and I have mosquito bites all over my back. So if you see me itching, it's because I've got mosquito bites all over my bum and my back. If their skin was any other color than white, these people would have been tortured, beaten, and dragged out of the Capitol like hours ago. It's been a couple of hours now, and people are just chilling, right? These are mostly white supremacist, Christian-esque. I'm going to say Christian-esque because I believe true Christians would never behave in this way. Organizations that have stormed the nation's capital demanding that Trump is the actual president. And to be completely honest, I don't give a fuck if Trump or Biden are the president, because the United States president has been a puppet for corporate oil interests for, like I said, about 100 years now, since post-World War II. So every president basically is bought and sold by corporations. Let's just be really clear about that. In order to run for presidency and to win, you have to be bought out. And right now in the United States, the #1 priority for the corporate interests is to keep our oil secure, keep us as US citizens buying oil, buying prescription medications, buying bullshit that we don't need from China. We are so in debt as a nation, specifically to China and specifically to a number of corporations around the world. And so I feel that, this is my feeling, this is my opinion. So if you don't agree with me, that's totally fine. I'm totally okay with people not agreeing with me. But in my observations, P.S., my undergrad is in socioeconomics. My master's degree is in international peace education from the United Nations University for Peace. So this is not just some pontification of someone who thinks they're channeling the aliens. This is what I've been studying since I was 17 years old and been watching the patterning of what's happening in this country. Alicia says we should all be storming the Capitol. 150%. Our government has been bought and sold by corporations since World War II. We as the United States helped secure Israel as a country in order to extract oil from the Middle East. We weren't doing the Jews any favors, because we were definitely helping the Germans when they were testing on the Jews. That's how we developed psychology. That's how we developed most of our psychiatric drugs, came from the tests on Jewish people in World War II during Germany. The United States supported that shit. And then they flipped it around so that we could extract oil from the Middle East. We decided, we're going to help the Jews. We're going to make a state for them. No, we weren't being nice. We needed a fucking footstool in order to bring out the oil. Okay? So, Amelia says data brings profit than oil. I don't know what you mean, Amelia. Rephrase, baby. So it's very important that we understand right now that what is happening is, one, a result of a white supremacist being in our presidency. #2 is a complete distraction from the fact that the US presidency has been a fucking sham for a long time. So I just wanted to come on and make that statement. And also remember to share information on social media. But just remember, social media is an experiment where we're all being observed. Everything that we put out there and all the advertisements that are given back to us is a buying and selling process. Corporations buy our data. And it's very important for us to remember that what we put out on social media is a big thing. Heather says Antifa. I don't know about Antifa, but I do know that that organization is in and of itself totally deficient in their knowledge and is more violent than I care to even admit. What we need to do, I don't know. I don't have any advice. What I feel for myself is within the next year to get off all social media, to get off all devices, and to be growing our own food. To get completely out of the system really feels like the only way. We need to learn how to make our own medicines again. We need to learn how to have our own rituals and to get off of the matrix system completely because it's killing our children and it's killing us. And the cortisol spikes in our systems and the heart attacks and the 5G. It's just complete, right? Like that's really where it's at. So just remember, it doesn't matter who the president is. They're bought and sold by the Middle East. It's really important that we remember that President Obama did nothing to get our troops out of the Middle East. President Obama did nothing to stop the torture and the pain and the illegal corporate oil interests that were happening at Standing Rock. So it doesn't matter what the color of the skin is of the person. It doesn't matter what their social stance is. I think it's important to acknowledge that Trump has increased the amount of racism in our country or has supported the social inequalities that are here. But at the end of the day, he isn't any more or less bought and sold than Obama was. Let's just put it out there, okay? I don't think Biden's going to be any better. He's completely bought and sold by the oil industry. And pretty much any organization that is supported by the U.S. government right now is still about oil interests. So what do? We ultimately need to get off of our petroleum interests. We need to get off of our petroleum consumption and off of the data, which is social media consumption. So just wanted to come on and just shoot a little bit of that. Check out what's happening in the Capitol. Pray for peace within the hearts of humans and pray for this sacred rage to be activated in all of us and for us to stay very centered in that rage, to purify it, to allow it to come through our systems, to be felt, move it with breath, sound, movement, and touch. Because it should piss us off. It should piss us off that as U.S. citizens, we are bought and sold. We're bought and sold. Your social security number is a barcode, and the U.S. government has taken out loans from corporations, from the Chinese government, has bought and sold you through your social security number. Like, that's just where it's at. As a U.S. citizen, you have been bought and sold. And right now, it is vital for us to wake up, especially those of us who consider ourselves spiritual. To really have our eyes open means that we start learning about what has happened socioeconomically in the United States for the past 100 years. That's the only kind of woke that I'm interested in. Learn how to breathe, how to take responsibility for your own experience. Don't project your triggers onto anyone else. Take responsibility through breath, sound, movement, touch. Learn how to care for your body. Learn how to care for your heart. Learn how to care for your community, number one. And then number two, learn what has happened socioeconomically, specifically within the United States if you're living here, because we have been a big bully around the planet, specifically extracting natural resources from Venezuela, from Bolivia, from Iraq, from Iran, from Turkmenistan. It's important that we know this. And it's important to remember that the job of the President of the United States is to distract U.S. citizens from actually paying attention from what we're doing on around the world. So it doesn't matter who's in office, because if they make it to office, they've already been bought out. That's why Bernie Sanders has dropped out every time, because he refuses to be bought out. And he knows that the only way to make it to presidency right now is to be bought and sold. So there it is. Let me know if you watch this live or if you're seeing on repeat. Share this if you want to have this conversation with people. Share it with groups, share it with individuals. I'm down to have conversations. I'm not here to defend my stance. This is just what is. Again, I've been studying socioeconomics since I was 17. I don't know anything. I don't know the whole picture. I don't have every perspective. So I completely admit my own ignorance. I completely admit that there's so much that I don't know. And I'm sharing with you as someone who has studied deeply on this subject and as also someone who's deeply connected to the trees. I'm deeply connected to the earth every day. Look where I fucking live. I literally live in a tent in the trees off the land because I refuse to be a part of the matrix system any longer. I refuse to be a part of homes that are painted with lead so that your calcium is surrounding your pineal gland and your nervous system is completely wilded out of control. If you're living in a home right now, you're probably living in a toxic environment, which is not allowing you to think clearly. We've been made to live in prisons and we pay for it. And then we pay for these devices and we get on these social media exchanges and corporations are buying and selling our information depending on what we like and how we click and what we buy based on them. They don't have to enslave us. They've convinced us that our American dream is the greatest thing, but that is what keeps us enslaved. As long as we're buying our groceries from them, buying our petroleum from them, buying our pharmaceuticals from them, we are a part of the system and we are a part of the problem. And I am also a part of it right now. So this is not coming from a place of that I've got it figured out or that I know what we should do next. I'm not here to lead the revolution, but I'm hopefully here to activate all of us as leaders because I'm not here to hold the torch, guys. I don't got like the thing where you can sign up and these are the 10 steps on how to overthrow the US government. I don't got that. I don't got that. But I do believe that we get to starting to have this conversation, especially if we consider ourselves spiritual. I don't consider myself spiritual anymore. I'm a fucking earthling and I stand for the trees. I'm a Lorax. Fuck the shit of spirituality. I'm a Lorax. I love you all. Blessings on your journey. This is just one wild woman who lives in the woods who's seen a lot of bullshit right now. I'm praying for the people's hearts to open. I'm praying for the love to open. I'm praying for us to remember that we are human animals and all beings are one being. We are one human family. And the most important thing that we do is learn to love ourselves, be love, radiate love, and love each other ferociously. And anything that is not that love, anything that is not the expression of that love, gets to go, gets to be healed, gets to be integrated in this lifetime now. And the biggest expression of that is child slavery, specifically sex slavery, the extraction of oil from the Middle East, the illegal selling of arms, the illegal selling of pharmaceuticals, and how much we are kept inoculated by the drugs that are sold to us. That's it. I love you all. Stay safe. Send me a message if you want to hang out. Share this if it moves you, and if it doesn't, don't. So much love from this wild woman to all of your wild hearts. Bless, bless, bless. Love, love, love.